From a 16-year-old girl spending her winnings on a cocaine habit, to a woman that hit the jackpot twice, only to lose it all gambling. We take a look at 5 of the dumbest lottery winners ever. Number 5. Michael Carroll. The story goes as follows. Michael Carroll, a 19-year-old British garbage man, wins about $15 million in the lottery. He begins spending money innocently enough. Presents for family and friends, for instance. Then he begins spending not so innocently on things like crack cocaine, gambling, prostitutes, and enough booze to drown the sad midday crowd at an Irish pub. 8 years later, he's broke and back to working as a garbage man. According to him, he's happier for it. But we kind of think he's just saying that because he's lost it all. Number 4. CALLIE Rogers. When CALLIE Rogers was 16, she was just another normal teen living in the UK. Then she won the lottery, which at the time was roughly $3 million. CALLIE went on a spending spree and threw her hardly hard-earned cash at everything from clothes to vacations to parties to breast enhancements, not to mention cocaine. 6 years later, she was completely broke and in debt. She attempted to take her own life twice. The stress of handling and ultimately losing that much money was too much for her, and was ultimately forced to take a job as a maid to support herself and her 2 children. Number 3. Alex and Rhoda Toth. Married couple Alex and Rhoda Toth won the lottery in 1990 when they were literally broke. The prize was $13 million, and they opted to receive it in payments of $666,666 a year for 20 years until 2010. They briefly lived it up in Las Vegas before deciding that the lavish life was not for them, and they returned to their home state of Florida to buy some land and a home. Unfortunately, they were broke by 2006 due to court fees. Winning the money had caused a rift in the family that resulted in tons of legal drama and expenses. Alex was even arrested numerous times for growing marijuana plants and for writing bad checks between 2002 and 2005. They were down to living in a tiny trailer on a half-acre of land, their only source of electricity coming from a wire connected to their car's engine. When they were caught in 2006 for tax evasion, Alex died while awaiting trial, and Rhoda claimed that she was too ill to stand trial herself. Turns out, she lied about that too. And when video surfaced of her moving around just fine, she was sentenced to 2 years in prison. And she has to pay $1.1 million to the IRS. Number 2. JANITE Lee. JANITE Lee decided to be generous with her money when she won $18 million in the lottery in 1993. Which is a nice thought that rarely turns out well. She donated much of her money to government-related programs and political organizations, and even broke bread with former President Bill Clinton thanks to her contributions. She dropped $1 million on Washington University in St. Louis to allow them to build a new library, which is named after her. Lee also gambled a lot, so you can see how this was not a good combination. She blew about $347,000 in a year on her habit, and ended up deep in debt to the point where she filed for bankruptcy in 2001. Number 1. Evelyn Adams. Winning the lottery once is one thing. The odds are astronomical at best, and it's sort of like being hit by lightning. Normally, if it does happen to a person, it never happens again. For Evelyn Adams of New Jersey, however, it did happen twice. In 1985 and 1986. She won about $5.4 million in total, and instead of thinking maybe it was a sign that she should put it away or invest it or something, Adams thought it'd be a great idea to spend it all gambling in nearby Atlantic City. A little over 20 years later, she found herself broke and living in a less than lavish trailer park.